letter T, H, and L. Let's begin by looking at the letter T. The one I have up there is a little too big in the space. Let's look and see how it works. You go up to the top. I'm going to try to trace as close as I can to it. So I still have a little bit of space right in between there. I'm going to try to even get it closer to make my T really nice. So watch one more time before you work on your own. You come at the bottom. I'm going to go all the way up to the top. I'm going to trace it back down. Notice how I almost came all the way to the bottom before I worked on that kind of tail area. After I finish, then I cross it. I'll do it one more time, real quick, for you to see. Start at the bottom, go all the way up to the top, trace it as close as possible, and make your tail to get you ready to connect it next time. After you're done, cross it and make about 5 to 10 letter T's until you feel you've made them really nice. The next letter we're going to work on is the letter H. You start on the very bottom of your line. I'm going to go all the way up to the top. With the letter H, it doesn't have to be as close, but you can see it looks a little better when I do have it closer. You'll see now I brought my letter H down to the bottom, straight down. I'm going to go straight up that center line, and then I leave a little bit for when I'm going to connect it to the next letter. So go ahead and watch one more. I start at the bottom line. I go up to the top. Notice I'm almost going to go straight down. So I just, unlike my T, this line is going straight down. Now for the bottom, I trace it back up to make my H. And H is a very hard letter to make, so you probably need to practice a lot. Why don't you go ahead and practice if you need to. I'll do one more. Go all the way up to the top. Notice I'm going to come straight down, then following that line, I go up to the center line to make my kind of little tail. We're all connected to the next letter. And probably draw a good 10 H's. H is a hard letter. The last letter we're going to work on today is the letter L. You start at the bottom. Start at the bottom, come all the way up like we've been doing, and come down. That is the letter L. You start at the bottom, come all the way up, follow it close, and come down. In black, here's an example of what I see students do when they make the letter L that is incorrect. A lot of times students will make it look and have the circle in the middle way too wide. So we definitely don't want a wide circle in the middle. Here's another nice L for you to see. Start at the bottom, come up. I'm going to make sure I come as close to the other line as possible, then come down. Go ahead and work on an L. You probably need to do about 8 to 10 L's. It's a hard letter to make. Go ahead and practice those. And now that you've worked on your letter L, let's work on putting your T and your H together for making the sound. Here we go. I start at the bottom. For my T, come up to the top. I'm going to stay as close as possible to that. I come all the way up. For my H, you'll see how I came straight down, trace it, and come up. Notice my T has not been crossed until you finish the word. When you're finished with it, then go back and cross your T. Watch one more time before you work on some by yourself. You start at the bottom. Come up to the top, trace as close as possible to the line you just made. Now notice I didn't cross it. I'm staying in my cursive letter. I come up to the top, staying as close as possible to the line I just made, but I go straight down. Now there's no loops or anything at the bottom of my H, the straight line. Then I come over. After I'm finished with the word, that's when I go back and I cross my T. Go ahead and work on some of those. And work on TH, TH. Write them several times. Those are the letters we're going to work on today. We can try making the word hat, because previously you learned the letter A. So for hat, we start at the bottom, come all the way up. Notice my H, I stay as close as possible. I come straight down, straight back up to that center line. Now this is where the end of my H, I go straight into the letter A. I came all the way back down to the bottom line to connect them. When I'm done with my letter A, I'm going to come all the way down and touch that bottom line before I go up to make my T. My T, I trace it down, staying with the line I just made, come all the way down for my T. That's how you make a cursive word hat. Go ahead and write the word hat probably 5 times and then listen to the last conclusion of the video. Thanks. Okay, to conclude the video, I want you to be aware when you're working on a word like hat, I see some students making mistakes of making the H too large and then coming over. Sometimes students, when they make the letter H, they come up, they make it a little too large, and then the bottom isn't a straight down. So just kind of check to make sure you're doing a good H there. Hat. I also see students who sometimes forget to come all the way down to the bottom line. When I make the letter H, I come up, I come all the way down before going up to the next letter. That's the letter, that's the word hat. Just check to make sure, or your T too wide. Okay, make sure your T comes up, traces it, and comes down. Kind of check to see how you did. Maybe you need to practice the word hat a few more times. But have a great day. It was fun teaching you the letter H, L, and T. Have a good day.